Boker Tov, good morning. We continue with a 3-minute daily dose of Torah. We're looking at the second Mishnah in the first chapter of Pirkei Avos. We know that Shimon ben Gamliel, Shimon HaTzadik, sort of expanded on what other people would say is the whole centerpiece of life, and he's of Jewish life. The world stands on three things, not just one, not just on the Karbanot. He has a pasuk which he builds on to establish this. You find all three in one verse. I'll place my word in your mouth, Zot Torah. Yadi kisiticha, and with the shadow of my hand, I will cover you. That's an act on God's part of loving kindness. That teaches you that if you study Torah and do gemilos and do nice loving kindness, you will merit to sit in God's shade, His protection. Okay, let's go further. Right, that is to plant the heavens and to firm up the earth. That's the sacrifices. And then it goes on for the rest of the pasuk. So there's those he derives it. We're told from one pasuk whether he made this or the Gemara added. It's not clear to the statement. Presumably the Gemara adds this in to tell you it all comes from one pasuk. But as I said yesterday, what he does in fact is expand and say that we can't just be about ritual life, whether it's in the Beit Hamikdash when the Beit Hamikdash stood, or when the Mikdash ceased to stand, then about our davening life. That's just not enough. That's just not what it means to be a Jew. It's got to be about more. Again, to be a Jew is much, much more, because it's a whole world of mitzvot, but it's sort of the essentials of it. A life dedicated to divine worship, super. A life dedicated to Talmud Torah, to study the Torah, that became an essential part of teaching, and he is from the Anshe Knesset HaGedolah. He cares about, he's not just a ritual guy, he's a Torah study kind of guy, and he puts it out there. And the third piece is the way we help each other. Gemilas Chasadim is people who we don't owe anything to, per se, but they're ready to lend a hand and be of help to another individual. Now, it's not just that these are essentials of Judaism, as I've kind of said until now, but they are the bases upon which the world exists. The world doesn't just stand or circle around on its axis because nature has created that way. There's an ongoing factor which we're being told that if it were not for the fact that human beings on this planet dedicate themselves to meaningful study and commitments, to a world which isn't just about the human attainment, but worship of a higher force in God, and indeed that we are reaching out for one another, then the world would not exist. The world would cease to exist. Whether it means that God would say, "I'm closing up, shutting it down," or it's just sort of life force of very existence itself, are these components. Let it be a day in which we've dedicated ourselves to these and so many more. Have a great